Yeah, there's nothing professional about this. Hey everyone, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell. Daily updates. Really excited for today's video because we're doing a live stream because it's the 25th anniversary of Dogfish Head to the day. So I saw that yesterday and I'm like, hey, group text, anyone want to do a live stream and drink some Dogfish Head beers? And we got some takers. We got Sean from Nerdsense.
Hey everyone.
And we got Keith from 84 Hot Garbage Lumber, I think is the name we're up to. What's up? I think Matt from Massive will be joining, and I think Mike from Nerdsense will also be joining. Hi, guys.
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Yes, and it is a Tuesday. Yes. You guys want to crack them open and then talk about what each of us are drinking, or
Yeah, I just realized I didn't grab the bottle opener. So I
use your teeth.
Brother. Here comes Matt from Massive as we struggle to get these open. What's up, Matt? How you doing, brother?
Hey.
Oh, hanging in there. How about yourself?
Same. Yeah, we're just unlike other live streams, I want to get right to the beer consumption, so we're just cracking them open, and I should have cut this wax off because this is a pain to open right now. So, Sean, you're ready to go. Why don't you tell people what you're drinking, how fresh it is, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so when Kyle mentioned this, I was like, only thing I have is Worldwide Stout and Aged 120. Well, both aged. And I was like, do I really want to drink a 17% beer on a Tuesday? And I was like, not really. And then I found a wood-aged Bitches Brew, and that's only 9%. And I was like, that may I want to save for an actual review. So I ran out, and the store only had Worldwide Stout and 60 Minute. And given the store, I wasn't expecting it to be that fresh, but it's actually canned on 430, so way better.
You beat me by 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you the last time I had 60 Minute. It's got to be over a year.
I can tell you the exact last time I had 60 Minute.
When was that?
When me and Keith did Dogfish Head beers.
Oh,
remember?
I remember that. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. Because it was we did 60, 90, 75, and then 120 as like a vertical. And it was awesome. I forgot how much I love 60.
I remember loving it. I gotta take a sip. I haven't had this in so long. It just smells so good.
Yeah, 60 is phenomenal. The last time I had it was actually not too long ago, but it was 8 months old, and it was still drinking great with freaking 8 months on it.
Yeah, that's exquisite. I'm actually really glad that this place doesn't do single cans, because now I have a 6-pack to drink of this, and it's really good.
Nice. I decided to go into my cellar because I don't have to work tomorrow, so I didn't mind drinking a higher ABV beer. It's Immort's Ale. It's 11% from 2013. Best in character, luscious and complex. The smooth, full-bodied ale reveals interwoven notes of maple, vanilla, and oak. It has vanilla, maple, and oak in it, so not surprising those are notes you get. But yeah, this is drinking nice. They use a peated malt, so it does have a little bit of a peatiness, which I like.
Nice, and that still comes through after all those 7 years, huh?
Yeah, I'm not getting as much. I forget what it was I was drinking recently that had a lot of peat in it. This doesn't have that much, but it does still have some. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
I think I have that year, as a recording that I recorded maybe about 6 months ago. I just never posted it. Oddly enough,
really?
I have to go look and see if it's that year. I forget what year it is. Someone sent one to me, and I was like, okay. And I just haven't posted it. I don't know why.
I'm getting a good level of smoke actually in the back of my throat right now from it. So yeah, no, it definitely had that peatiness.
Nice.
Keith, what are you going with? You said you had. I think I know what you're going with.
120.
Nice.
2016.
Nice.
2016.
Very nice.
Where's the date?
They're usually stamped on the bottle, I think.
Yeah, usually up on the neck.
Yeah.
2016.
Nice. Yeah, an IPA that drinks like a barley wine.
Yeah. I've had a 90-minute recently, probably within the last few months, and I remember that being. They're all so solid.
Yeah.
When we did the Dogfish Head, the 60 was the best, right? 60, and then it was like the
120 and then 75 and then 90. I think 90 was like garbage.
Really.
Remember? It was like it tasted. It was really fresh. It was just it just tasted like sugar water hop. Like basically, you got more sweet sugariness and less delicious hoppiness. It was I found freshies. It just and not that I wouldn't say it's garbage. It just wasn't for me. It's oddly enough because we did a review. I did a review before we went live, and I did like what was the beer, Keith? It was like a what's the brewery that's Budweiser now? Freak of Nature. Who's that brewery?
Wicked Weed.
Wicked Weed. It was a Wicked. Remember, it was a Wicked Weed beer.
Yeah.
And it was one of their beers that tasted almost exactly similar to that. Yeah.
Weird.
Freak of Nature. Yeah, that's their double IPA. I remember that beer being very good, but
I don't know if it was that beer.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But I'm just saying, I was just trying to think of the brewery. I remember that beer from the brewery. I don't know if it was that beer, but it was one of their kind of double IPAs. Now for me, I'm saving the 60 for next. I'm diving back into this one, the Slightly Mighty, which I called it Slightly Mighty or something like that. I think when I reviewed it, and it still doesn't. No, it's not good. Have you guys had this?
I've still yet to have it. I bought a can last summer, and just so I could try it. And I came home one night, and my wife was drinking it, and I was like, "Oh, I only brought one can of that. Is there any left?" She goes, "No, I already finished it." She's like, "It wasn't that good."
Yeah, it's got this weirdness. It has monk fruit in it. That's where they get their kind of sweetness from, and that's what keeps it low calorie. And I've eaten a ton of monk fruit because my brother-in-law uses it for a ton of stuff. So if I don't mind it in food or baking, like more specifically baking, it works really well. So if I'm going to make like some kind of, he doesn't eat refined sugar. So if I'm going to make something and the only alternative I have to make is that, then I'll use monk fruit. So like he could have some of the stuff I make. You know what I mean? And I don't taste it much in baking, but it has to be that. But this is probably, I picked up 3 beers because I went to Mixer 6. I haven't had this one yet.
No, that's the new one, right?
What is it?
I don't. Yeah, it's bottled 422. It's a beer mosa sour, so I assume it's a mimosa vibing beer. So we'll see what's what with that one.
I remember the label, but I didn't realize that's what the beer style was. But yeah, I remember that being a newer beer for them, or their newest.
Brewed with grape juice, peaches, blood oranges, lemon, oranges, and lime. So yeah.
Okay.
Probably get a lot of smoke off of that one. So.
Yeah, blood orange. Jeez, that's awesome. So Kemp Beer Review says, "Good evening, guys." So good evening back. Good evening. Yeah, so I saw yesterday that it was their 25th anniversary, and I figured this would foster a lot of conversations, whether it was trip down memory lane stuff or reevaluating them merging with Samuel Adams, different stories. I know I have a bunch of both or all those things, memories and stories. I've met Sam a couple of times from Dogfish Head. He was very cool in person. And then doing the Sean, what's the beer fest up there? The Extreme Beer Fest, right? Yep. Did they go run? Yeah, with
I met him there a few times.
Yeah, real cool dude. Yeah, it's cool. He was just like pouring beers.
It's just like one of your buddies when you get up there and just talk to him and stuff. It's really great.
I was annoyed the first time I went through their line. There were 2 people, him and someone else, and when I got up there, it was the other person I had to go get my beer from. Like, no, I wanted to talk to you. But no, he was at that same event. I've told the story before I'm pretty sure on this channel, but I had got tickets for my wife and I, and she's like, "Let me see if your friend, whose name also is Matt, if your friend Matt wants to go." And I'm like, "Yeah, but his wife's pregnant. I don't know if she'll be okay with that." So I'm like, "Hey Matt, I got this ticket if you want to go." And his wife's like, "Oh yeah, he can totally go. He just has to get a picture with Sam." And it's okay, fair enough. So, we both got in the wrong line, when we got up there. So we didn't meet him that way. But him and the brothers from Beer Advocate were getting pulled to do some like journalistic stuff, like the media stuff was set up. So they had to like go. And I'm like, Sam, this guy only could come. His pregnant wife, what's that? And he's just like, I'll take a picture with you guys. It's fine. And I'm like, you didn't let me finish the whole reason why we have to get pictures with you. But yeah, he was so cool. Yeah. And that's a great event. That Extreme Beer Fest was so much fun. But, so yeah, that was one story. I don't want to dominate the conversation. I can tell more. I have a bunch, but
speaking of Extreme Beer Fest, I remember was it the first or second time I met him, but it was when they made that most like the Guinness World Record bitter, the bitterest beer ever. I don't know if you were at that one. They never released it commercially.
Yeah.
Thank God, that beer was terrible.
Was it the one with it had like the highest
IBUs? Yeah, it was IBUs, so right? Bitter. My mouth was like, it was just. If you've ever tried hop extract, that's sort of what you get from it. It was just absolutely. I was like, all right, guys, you swung for the fences on this one, but you got in the Guinness Book of World Records, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I was at that one. Yeah, and that beer was disgusting. I remember it just like dried out my whole mouth.
Yes.
Yeah, it was it was such a weird experience. I mean, it was an interesting drinking experience.
Right.
It was disgusting. That is one of the things that I want to jump the gun, but I did have a couple ideas. One of them was going to be the worst Dogfish Head beer you've ever had.
Ooh,
and I actually forgot about that one.
How long do you want to make this video?
Oh, give a bunch of them?
Yeah. Yeah, it's natural though, because for a brewery that fucks around with so much weird shit, it's like what do you expect? You know what I mean? That's why they're not my favorite brewery of all time, but I appreciate them quite a bit because the cuts they take at beers.
Yep. They're the first drain pour for me, actually. They're Ta Hencat, I think it had hieroglyphics on the bottle. It was one of their 750 milliliters. Brought it to a poker night with a bunch of other craft beer guys. We all tried it, and every single one of us was like, "This is disgusting." I'm like, I think we just poured down the drain. This is awful, and like no one wants to drink it, and we could just sit in the bottle. So yeah, and I love Dogfish Head, but I agree with Matt. And actually, one time when I was doing a tour of Dogfish Head, that tour guide even said that. He's like, we do so many different things and we experiment so much. It would be really weird if you liked everything we did. So like fully acknowledging from the company, they're swinging, there's going to be hits and misses.
Trying to think, what was the one where they chewed up the stuff and spit back into the and that didn't gross me out. I was perfectly fine with that. That didn't have any bearing on it, but the beer itself, I don't remember I remember it tasting just not good.
Chicha something, right?
Yeah.
I remember because they did that episode. Here's another thing we could talk about: their short-lived television show. What was the name of that show? I can't remember the name of the show, but yeah, they had their own like show for a little while. They did a whole episode about that, and just like watching everyone chew and then spit out the corn. Yeah, it was disgusting. And then they did the pumpkin ale one where they showed where they launched the pumpkins. That was pretty cool.
That was probably one of my favorite, or was my favorite pumpkin beers. I really enjoyed pumpkin.
Oh, pumpkin's great. I do want to talk about. Okay, so.
Wait, is there pumpkin Drublick? Is that theirs?
No, just pumpkin ale.
Who does pumpkin Drublick?
I don't think I've heard that one.
That's
Stone, isn't it? Isn't that No Effects reference, or am I getting my wires crossed?
It's No Effects, and
I know that, but someone made a beer.
Yeah, it's no Effects and
Stone and No Effects did a beer together.
Is it Stone?
I don't mean to start off.
It's Stone. Stone beer.
Sure.
Stone is like just the West Coast fucking Dogfish Head anyway. It is.
I don't know if they brew as not create. I guess creatively is probably a good way to put it. Like they don't take as many chances. I don't think.
Nobody does. You can't you know what I mean? That's the thing.
No.
But yeah, popularity-wise, that makes sense. I'm kind of going through like Dogfish beers just because I don't drink them regularly anymore, but I used to drink them all the time.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever had a bad beer, I've had like I think that 90-minute that I had at Matt's was like maybe the worst beer I've had, but I've had a couple like the one with all the coconut. It had coconut water and coconut whatever.
Lupo, whatever it's called.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting, but I don't know if it didn't. I don't know if it wasn't cold during the trip or what was up with it, but it was not good. And then I had a worldwide stout that didn't make it either a while ago.
Yeah, but that was at age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the age stuff is kind of,
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
I'm just saying I don't think I've had like I can't think of like a beer that like was like just like I didn't enjoy. Like maybe not at yeah. I don't think I've drank that much Dogfish Head, honestly.
The one I really don't like is Festina Pesh. I just don't like that beer at all. And here's one beer where actually it was one of my favorite beers that I wouldn't say favorite beers. It's one of the more interesting beers I had. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then the second time I had it, it was one of the worst beers I had. So it actually is one of the better ones I've had, and also one of the shittier ones I've had, which was their Higher Math, which is like super polarizing.
I hate Higher Math. I was just going to talk about how much I hated that. I have one bottle left. I'll drink it at some point, but I hated that beer.
The last time they did was 2015.
Oh, yeah, that beer did not go over well with me either. That label, no.
I drank one last year, I think. Earlier this year, I thought it was good.
Wasn't that a collab? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, I don't
like
think so.
It was like their birthday beer or whatever.
Yeah, I'm looking at the label. I've definitely had it, but I think
it's cherry cake is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no.
I had one fresh and I didn't like it as much, and then I had one, like I said, somewhat recently, within the last year, and I thought it was better.
But if you even think of, you think about just Dogfish Head in general. Like, if you were to kind of talk about the first 5 to 10 craft beers you ever had, one of them has to be Dogfish Head, right? Mm-hmm. My second craft beer I was into ever was Dogfish Head. And they don't make it, but they only make it in the brewery now. They don't distro it anymore. It's a chicory stout.
That beer was so good.
Yeah. We used to. Did you ever have it in bottles, man? It was fucking awesome. Yeah. They stopped making it like 10 years ago or something like that in bottles.
Yeah, that was you're 100% right. Like when you get into craft beer, well, back in the day, say the old men on their yards, the Dogfish Head, Sierra Nevada, Sam Adams, those regular ones. But yeah, that's when I had like Festina Peach that you mentioned. I was so excited, like, oh, another Dogfish Head beer. Yes, I haven't tried this. And then I bought a 4-pack and I gave the other 3 to my friend Jeff. I'm like, I do not like this beer. Well, he liked it. Like, I don't like this beer one bit. So I definitely know what you're talking about with that. Now, so just to be positive, and 21090 beat me to the punch. Favorite Dogfish Head beers is this 750 cask with maple syrup, which sounds amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Because the beer has maple syrup in it, but you want to add even more, I'm okay with that. I think, the 16-minute for sure. I'm loving the Sequench so much in the hot weather. A properly, a well-aged worldwide stout. I remember Bitches Brew took me aback when I, had that.
Yep.
We could still find that in shelves in 750s out in Pennsylvania.
Really?
Straight up. Oh, yeah. Right now, I know a place right now you could roll up and grab a case, and it's probably not that far away from you. It's actually about 10 minutes north of Scranton.
Really?
So it's like, you're in Albany now.
Yeah, I'm in Albany now.
But when you were in Binghamton, it was probably be only like a 35, 40-minute drive from Binghamton. Yeah. They had them out, and I'm just like, how much are these? It's like, well, they're this much, but they're really old, so I'll give you like $5 off. I was like, sure.
Sure, thanks.
I used to I think my favorite Dogfish Head beer was the brown ale. I don't know. I haven't seen it recently, but I used to drink a ton of it. It was their
Palo Santo.
No, they're brown. They're what's it called? What's it called?
Yeah, it was just like a plain label, just like the Worldwide Stout label, right?
It was.
Yeah. And that's like a story. I got a story about that.
Oh yeah, the India brown ale. I remember that. Yeah, that beer was great.
Yeah, here's a great story about that beer because I love that beer. But somebody, so this is like 2012, 13, 14 Wegmans in Wilkes-Barre. Somebody in there didn't know what they were doing, and they would always put Worldwides in the mix of six instead of the Imperial Brown Ale. and honestly, that's part of the reasoning. I believe. I think that's the story behind it. Is one of the reasons why they switched to the Danger Caps. Yeah. Is because people were not necessarily that they were mixing it up, but you could take Worldwides and throw it in the Imperial Brown 4-pack, and no one would think any different because the cap was all the same. So not so much that the Danger Cap is above 13 or 14%, it becomes yellow cap. I think that's the reason why they did it because they're like, oh fuck, these labels are so much alike. People are like stealing these beers. Yeah.
Do they still make the brown ale? Because I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe not. I had one about a year or so ago, but
there's a new label that they've done, and I don't recognize it. I don't remember seeing it anywhere. But they're calling it a dark IPA now.
That's weird.
So instead of India brown ale, a dark. I mean, marketing, I guess.
Yeah, our boisterous brown ale meets well hopped IPA. Unless, was this a new beer? No.
Yeah, it sounds like a mixture of the two. Like they took their Imperial Brown and tweaked it or something.
It's the same. Yeah, weird. I don't know.
But my favorite, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, a super old ass 120 is so good. Like 10 years plus. Worldwide Stout to me is like one of my favorite barrel aged beers ever, and it's not barrel aged, but it's still one of my favorite barrel aged beers ever because it tastes like a fucking barrel aged beer. So I always say I like it as a barrel aged beer, even though it's not. And actually, oddly enough, Worldwide Stout barrel aged kind of sucks, which is kind of funny. But I tell you what, with some time on it, we're not talking epically long, but if we give it 5, 6, 7 years. Fucking what's the barley wine Old School. I love that fucking beer, man. I'm a big junkie, so yeah.
That beer's awesome. So how about this? This is a good thought we could definitely talk about. I don't think Dogfish Head has been that innovative in the past few years. So, Keith mentioned that coconut one. Yeah, using coconut in beer isn't new, but maybe
but that one was also like 2 years ago.
Okay, fair enough.
That's something.
And maybe Sequence. I'm trying to think like new beers from that. Like,
well, that's the thing. And this might be where Sedex is actually going. You don't want to confuse new with innovative.
And
what I mean? Just throwing weird ingredients in a beer is not new for Dogfish Head. You know what I mean? That's kind of their MO, and just because you throw weird shit at a beer doesn't mean it's going to be good. But they were known for that, not known for being weird, but known for pushing the boundaries and being innovative. And they've kind of gotten this kind of comfort zone of just like, hey, we're the guy that puts this odd shit in beer, and that is boring. They're not pushing the envelope. They're almost going. They're like the newspaper industry almost. So they're so set in their ways that they're almost willing to cut their nose off to spite their face. Like newspaper industries is like, fuck the internet. We're never going to do it. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. We're the newspaper industry. We'll be around forever. And then eventually time's passing by and they don't know how to catch up. Like, have they made like a good hoppy, non-old school hoppy IPA? I don't think they have, right?
I don't think they've done like the New England IPA at all. Right?
Sam Adams has done it.
So
no, I think
I'm looking at the site now. Yeah,
didn't they do one that wasn't very hazy? Didn't they release they called it a hazy IPA or whatever?
American Beauty Hazy Ripple IPA.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it didn't turn out as
it's on their main list of core beers right now.
Yeah, I reviewed that actually. I remember.
I think it's the Grateful Dead one, right?
Yeah.
But I don't remember American Beauty being a hazy beer when it first came out.
I think
750s.
I think they rotate styles in that Grateful Dead line, maybe. You know what I mean?
They had granola in it. I remember that.
Yeah.
I know I reviewed the IPA, and so did Joe from the Beer Patrol.
Yeah, they originally called it a pale, or was a pale at one point.
Yeah. Jay Porter chimed in at the India Brown that we were talking about before you. Thank you. Yeah, it took longer to figure out than it should have. What's up, Rod J? How you doing, brother? 21090 saying hi to Rod. Cheers, Todd. Oh, yeah, get a room, you two. All right. We live like 2 hours, from Dogfish Head. Yeah, we went for our 1 year anniversary 4 years ago. It's my time I've been to Dogfish Head. A really good experience. I had a lot of fun. Distinguished guest or something like that. Is that the
name of the beer?
Yeah, but which, like the New England version, or which?
I'm Googling.
It does sound familiar. Distinguished guest does sound familiar. Innovative is a good. This is a good question or thought. A company that's known for doing weird things, is doing weird things. But how weird is it anymore? Where people are like, so many other breweries are doing weird or weirder things.
Right.
Is weird innovative? Are those synonyms? Yeah.
Or are they only releasing the more innovative stuff at their brewery? Because I feel like now that they're bigger, they're only doing they're not doing well. Now that they're bigger, and also that there's a ton of other breweries, they're only doing the more creative stuff as smaller releases. Because there was one, what was it? Vanilla something. What was it? Worldwide Stout, or it was.
Gauge, right?
What was it? No, but it was a brewery release only.
Utopias one? No, that hit distro.
Yeah, they're on tap list right now. Is crazy what they have at the tasting room only.
Yeah. No, they had some cool stuff at the tasting room. Yeah, that they didn't have.
Kyle, do you have a fan pointed at your mic or something like that? Is this weird blowing?
Yeah, that might be me. Hold on.
I do hear, but it's not me. I cut my air conditioner.
Okay.
I hear it too, but it keeps going in and out, so I wasn't sure if it was just. Oop.
I guess we can talk while Keith does that.
No, let's all be silent and freeze.
Watch everybody drop. And they have a crazy list of stuff that I've never heard of.
Is that better?
It's still there.
Coming through. What? Kyle, actually, how about this? Everyone mute. Oh no, it's back. It's gone. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
Well, Keith, do you hear it? Because if Keith hears it, then it's not him.
What about that?
It's fine. It's fine.
Better.
I'm sorry you brought it up.
Yeah.
Derailed.
Watching these top-notch guys, I wouldn't go that far. Punch cigar. Left hand going, oh, nice. Nitro Pina Colada Wheat Ale.
That sounds amazing.
It does sound good. Hey, Vanessa. They used to do I want to talk about that. Well, something along those lines. Hey, Vanessa says, Rod. Yeah, another one I really liked was Midas Touch, which was kind of it had honey in it, so it was like a mead beer hybrid. The red, white, and blue was very good. Was it 61 minute that had 49%?
Oh no, 61 had grape juice in it or something.
I remember not liking that much.
Okay. Was it just grape juice or was it
grape must? Wasn't it? Wasn't it grape must?
Maybe
grape must, yeah.
Okay.
But I think you're thinking about 75 because 75's half 60, half 90.
And then with the maple syrup added, yeah.
61 is beer and wine, yeah. Plus great must. Yeah, I remember not digging that. I remember being so excited for that too.
Yeah.
Because at the time, like I was so into Dogfish at the time, and I was like, oh my god, there's like a variant of this. And like then didn't really hit for me at least.
Fun fact: Midas Touch is the first Dogfish beer I've ever had. Well, ever. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was drinking a lot of Sam Adams and Guinness and stuff like that, and then someone was like, "Oh, you should try this beer because I really like it." It was Dogfish Head Midas Touch, so I got it. It was. I remember it not being terrible, but I remember not really being that into it. But also, based on what I was drinking at the time, like it was kind of like a palate shock kind of thing. So, but I don't think I've had it since then, though. I should probably. Do they still make that?
Yeah, it's listed on their 2020 release on their site right now. It's in 12 packs.
I should revisit that.
That's one. I know they redid the label. I'm trying to remember why. I think it was because the original label like didn't have Dogfish Head written on it, or it was like something like really obvious that you should have written on your label, and the original one didn't have that. So again, I'm trying to remember because
wait, which one? 75?
Midas Touch.
Oh, Midas Touch.
Yeah. That was one that my friends and I really liked, and would like let each other know, like, hey, this store got it back in if you want to go grab more. That was a big one for us when that came out. Vanessa, I found a wine the other day titled Old and Juicy. Had to buy it. Go for that. Sounds better than a day. Oh, Rod, that sucks, man. That'd be a good beer. Pennsylvania Tuxedo.
Oh,
yeah.
I still haven't had that one.
That Pennsylvania Tuxedo is probably my favorite Dogfish Head beer.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Dude, you could put Spruce Tips and Dookie, and Keith will like it. So
Yeah.
So here's one I forgot. Namaste. That's such a good.
That's their wheat. Yeah, they're white. Yeah, they're white. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. It comes in that they're like low ABV pack. Namaste. I think Sea Quench. 60. Can't remember the 4 in there. Man, that was so good. My first craft beer was 90 Minute. Okay. Do you guys know of any other mainstream brewery that uses such a wide variety of ingredients? I mean,
what's the definition of mainstream?
Yeah, I'll go. Like just not Budweiser or Coors or whatever. I mean, you're getting so many fruited beers. It seems like whether they're fruit smoothie beers or just fruited sours, fruited IPAs, you're getting a lot of lactose and different things, and maybe there would not be lactose in.
Who'd you say?
No, I know one specific. I'm just kind of talking about a lot of breweries.
Off the top of my head, there's a couple. Sneakily, Bell's uses a lot of weird shit because they do a lot of like really one-off series, and a lot of their beers they'll do like their planetary series. I forget what they called it, and they do a lot of stuff. One that people don't think about, which is I would classify as mainstream because you can get it pretty much anywhere in the world, and they're technically owned by Sapporo. Is fucking what's his name?
Oh,
Unibrew.
Oh yeah.
Unibrew uses a ton of weird kind of ingredients in a bunch of their different beers. Now you wouldn't think of them as mainstream, but go to your local grocery store. I guarantee you, there's going to be a Unibrew beer there. So.
Yeah, they are easy to get. Man. Yeah, there's so many doing. I guess I can't get out of like the headspace of fruited beers, and just so many are adding fruit purees and.
I mean, I guess you could say does Sam Adams do a lot of stuff like that?
They have. I think that's more of a longevity thing. They've been around so long; they've made so many different beers, kind of like Dogfish Head. You know what I mean? You look up Dogfish Heads on tap; they probably have like 1,000 beers on there.
Right.
And Sam's much the same, but Sam is a lot more. It's weird, Sam Adams. I mean, not Calgione, but they're very close to the vest. It's weird because they kind of shifted places because, Sam Adams, besides doing traditional Belgian style beers, and maybe the odd thing like the chocolate bock or the cherry wheat was pretty uber traditional.
Cherry.
And then now they'll do anything. They'll make some kind of weird fucking IPA. They don't give a fuck. And whereas Dogfish Head's still like, yeah, we're not going to do that shit.
Yeah.
And then they became best friends. There you go.
Yeah.
Does Stone do a lot of weird stuff? I feel because don't they do like weird like 22-ounce bomber weird things?
They used to, not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore. I don't know.
Because they were doing the homebrew contest thing. That's where Chocoveza came from.
Yeah.
And they were doing that for a couple of years, but then it just kind of, I think it just kind of fluttered away, or I don't know.
Yeah, I follow them on Instagram, and I very rarely, I actually don't follow a ton of breweries. I very rarely am like, oh, cool, this is coming out from Stone. Like, not to hate on Stone, but yeah.
Said no one in the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, they didn't have that movie, right? What American Jesus or Brewer Jesus or whatever his movie is. That bad scene. Yeah, I agree.
That's something we should Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That would be a good. Yeah, you know what? That might be a next idea. Bird with Con's a delicious one. I like that a lot. Yeah, widely available is what he meant. I'm almost having a harder time thinking of breweries that are still doing traditional, like everything is traditional to style. That's at that level, because it seems like everyone's just kind of doing at least some experimenting or some, adjunct, laced things. Yeah, Incessant, yeah, it's pretty decent. I'll go along with you there, Rod. And Sam Adams, they're what they are. That's the reality of it.
There's a question. You had to pick one brewery, Sam Adams or Dogfish Head, even though they're the same brewery now. If you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
Dogfish Head.
Yeah.
I'd pick Sam Adams.
I'd pick Sam Adams
easily.
too. Yeah,
Easily.
I'd go Sam.
What?
Yeah, not even close.
Really?
Yeah, what they're doing now is pretty annoying, but their core beer series is really like Boston Lager is still solid. Sim 76 actually is relatively new, and actually that's a really decent beer.
If you
does Dogfish Head do lagers? Have they done lagers?
They've had to. I don't know. They've had to at one point. You would imagine, right? But if it's not so much that Sam Adams is a better brewery, but their hits they have more hits for me than misses, and they have higher hits, better hits for me than misses. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I were to talk about Dogfish Head and they're like epic, like this is like my favorite beers of all time. Dogfish Head, 120 worldwide, old school. Right there, it starts to get a little bit wavering. You talk about their whole fucking world. What do they call it? World? What's the World Series? It's like their Belgian line. They come in those weird tankard bottles. All those are fucking banging.
Yep.
Utopias, Triple Bock, fucking their Doppelbock. Their Doppelbock is like the best Doppelbock made in the United States. You know what I mean? Like a lot of their like lagers outside of like their base one and that are coming out nowadays, they're doing a lot of like low ABV cans and lagers and stuff like that. Like they just have like a better like upper echelon, a higher ceiling for their beers for me than Dogfish Head does. And that's not a slight against Dogfish Head at all. Just I've always thought Sam Adams is a better brewery than people give them credit for, and I think they're a very easy target for people to bang on. You know what I mean? When it comes to like they're not craft.
I mean, yes, there's an actual definition of what craft is, and like it keeps changing to accommodate whatever. But like that gut reaction, like what my gut tells me is craft beer. Sam Adams is craft beer. Like it is. It looks like a duck. It quacks like a duck. It's a duck. Like in my mind. Yeah. I know, and I'm not throwing shade at Sam Adams. It's just for me, I like the ethos of Dogfish Head. I drink more Dogfish Head than I do Sam Adams. Like so, just from a consumption point of view, they win for me. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed and continue to enjoy a lot of Sam Adams.
That and like if you talk to not everybody, but if you talk to like a good core of brewers who live in the Northeastern United States who actually opened breweries and kind of grew up in like the late aughts to the early teens, they probably got ingredients from Sam Adams. Sam Adams, when like ingredients were hard to get and hops were kind of contracted, you know, people were like, fuck, man, I can't make my beer. And then, you know, they just reach out and, you know, Jim would be like, yeah, come up, get whatever you want. He's like, so you pay whatever I paid for it, come and get it. And that's one of the things that kind of gets lost a lot of times, is that there is that kind of thing where it's like, yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want. We'll fucking take whatever you want. We'll charge you what we paid for it. We're not going to give it to you for free, but, you know, we're not going to charge you for any of those things. And that kept some breweries kind of in the mix. And when you combine that with some of the beers that they made, you know, I really enjoy Sam Adams. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, that is true. And it's a consistent story, like you said. Many breweries have told that story. Yeah. Rod for the tiebreaker says Dogfish Head, but wait for it. Damn it! Now Matt has me thinking about Sam Adams. Well, he spelled that with 2 T's, so disqualification. Sorry. Which I think he does on purpose. Anyway,
Sam Adams Cherry Wheat was one of the first quote unquote craft beers that I had. Those it was Sam Adams Cherry Wheat and I think Blue Moon, maybe.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 beers that like really mostly the Sam Adams, but
yeah. And how many has everybody here had their Doppelbock, their double bock?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best beers in the history of mankind. That shit's so fucking good.
The Cherry Wheat, Blue Moon, a bit of Purple Haze.
Oh, Purple Haze, yeah.
Really big early craft beers for me. And Saranac had a blackberry wheat. So like those fruited wheat beers, I was all about those early on.
Was Blue Moon ever really craft though? Weren't they always owned by?
No, they were always beers that got me into craft.
Right. Oh no, and it was the same for me. I used to love that beer, but I just
Blue Moon was always owned by the parent company, but it was a craft beer that was brewed in a baseball stadium, and it took off so greatly. I forget, it might have been Cubs. I forget who it was, but the brewer that was owned by the parent company was it Miller Coors? Who owns fucking Blue Moon?
It was Miller Coors.
Anyway, I think it was Coors back in the day before it was Miller Coors.
Right.
It was actually like brewed at like a baseball stadium that they had like a generic brew pub, and the person like crushed it on a recipe, and that's where they pulled it from. So it kind of was a crafty beer at one point. In a weird way.
I did the tour at Coors out in Colorado, and that was like however many free beers we had. It was nice to have Blue Moon on that because it's a good beer. I mean, it is what it is. Kent's got to sign off. That beer review is checking him out for sure.
No, he said cheers all in the chat. Just reviewed a couple of brews. Like
I thought maybe it was just saying
Kyle, you're trying to kick fans out.
Whatever. Welcome. No, he was already here.
Fuck you, Craig. Get the fuck out.
I know. That's why I don't like hosting these things. I'm not good. And we have to use StreamYard, which is the inferior product according to you guys.
No, don't even get me started, man.
This duck in my corner is really agitating me. I don't like this guy.
As long as the duck is up in his corner, that's all that
matters. The duck's annoying, but I've seen kind of near the corner of Matt's screen is a little Nerdsense sticker.
Oops, I just turned my camera off.
Yeah, what's that all about? Yeah, I got to do this sticker game up, I guess.
I want to try something. Can I do this?
No.
Try to make the duck drink your Nerdsense beer.
No, you know what you need to do, Kyle? Sean. Is that you need to make your logo with that duck logo inside of it, and like make it the exact same size so it looks like a Nerdsense logo with a duck on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I'm totally gonna do that.
Things I don't. Yeah.
Hack the system.
Like right next to the S in StreamYard, put a little N. So it's NS. It looks like NS on the headphone. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But Nerdsense is one word. We learned that. We did learn that from Mike, that Nerdsense, despite some branding, is one word.
I realize my camera's also flipped.
Too funny. Oh, there we go. Things I don't know how to do.
But I like what is it? Streamlabs is totally borked for me right now. I can't even open it. It won't even open on my computer.
I find that I actually, whenever Mike and I record local reviews, I still use traditional OBS because when I started using Streamlabs to stream, it was fine. But recording local, it would just bomb out.
No, like when I open the app now, it just says downloading updates, and I left it for 8 days, 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, there's something wrong, fucked up with it. So I haven't done a live stream in a little bit. So yeah.
Not to get back to Dogfish Head.
I'm gonna go run the Dogfish Head. Speaking of that,
we mentioned Bitches Brew. How about any of their other music collabs? Well, we mentioned the Grateful Dead one, American Beauty. Speaking of hybrids, I have Positive Contact, which was a cider beer hybrid, and that's for Deltron 3030, the rapper Del the Funky Homo Sapien. I'm a big fan of, so I did that collab. I did a Pearl Jam collab. I'm trying to think of other music. I know they've done other music.
Miles Davis, Bitches Brew.
Yeah, yep, a Bitches Brew. Man, they've done some other ones I'm flaking on. Anyway, the one that I have up here I want to talk about up on the shelf. You guys ever have the Pangea?
Yeah.
I love ginger. Pangea.
What was that?
They've got an ingredient from every continent. So use like some ice from Antarctica.
Was there saffron in that?
Let me grab the bottle.
I had it. I can't listen. I don't know if I liked it or I hate it, which means it probably wasn't good or bad. Probably somewhere in between.
Yeah, this was, and again, I'm a huge ginger fan. Let's see. Ale brew with crystallized ginger, but it had an ingredient. Of course, this doesn't say it, all the ingredients in it. But anyway, this is what the bottle was.
I don't recognize that.
It was so good. And I don't know if they ever brewed it a second time, but I liked it so much.
When was that released?
2010, so 10 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll look it up. Talks amongst yourselves.
This is going to make me want to go down a Dogfish Head rabbit hole now because this is just.
That's a good one. Like I said, like I mentioned in the group chat. Like next time you go to Mix the Six, man, just look. You can be surprised at the amount of Dogfish Head you'd rip out of that thing.
That's what I'm going to do.
Because everybody just throws it in there. So that's what I did on the way home. I went to this little shitty Mix the Six and I was like, okay, 3 Dogfish Head beers, perfect. I'm like, good to go. And they had other awesome stuff in there. So I was like, yeah, well, fucking made out for the night, you know? Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I found the ingredients for Pangea. Crystallized ginger from Australia, water from Antarctica, basmati rice from Asia, muscovado sugar from Africa, quinoa from South America, European yeast, and North American maize. So all of that in this delicious beer that I wish they would brew again.
Maybe Sam's watching. Maybe he will.
He and I are pretty tight. I once was in a bathroom. I shared a bathroom with him once, and
he didn't wash his hands.
That's a story. Oh, I remember that story. Yeah.
I will tell the story until I see him wash his hands.
I have to. I have a question.
Okay.
The only other Dogfish Head beer I have is the Worldwide Stout. Mm-hmm. I have other beers I could drink. Should I open the Worldwide Stout?
I mean, you said you were going to do a black and tan with the Worldwide Stout and the 120, so...
I forgot. I drank the 120, so I don't...
What do you have another 120?
What other beers do you have? Yeah, there you go.
I have Bomb Place and Stickman Brews.
If you blend those, the Worldwide with that, you can open it. You have to blend the Worldwide. If you have to drink the Worldwide, but you have to blend it with one of the beers you have available with you right now.
All right.
Or chug it, either one. That's the 2 options. Or boof it, 3 options.
So Rod chimed in. He's become a bigger fan of Restream. Again, I don't know a lot of this stuff, so I don't know Restream.
It's a StreamYard alternative, but I think it was like, I could be wrong, but I think it was like something that tried to happen about a couple years ago, and they tried to make it popular, but it just died, but it still exists. Okay. So I don't know, but it's basically StreamYard. But
he's saying that they need to get their group chat together. But yeah, I do like the fact that I can just easily click on comments and bring them up. That is something I like about StreamYard. But anyway,
I do agree with that.
That's, I'm sure, technical stuff, and people coming to watch a Dogfish Head live stream probably don't. Maybe they care. I have no idea. I don't know what the people want. Now, how about this? So we talked about innovation before. Do you think they've changed since they merged, got bought out, whatever terminology you want to use, by Samuel Adams?
I forget that they got bought until today when I was thinking about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." But I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that they've changed.
No, I mean just to add on to both my and Kyle's subscriber deficit over the past week. The analogy I would use would be no, because just like any presidential, whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? When a president's in house, you see, the next president that comes in the first 2 or 3 years, it's not that president's doing, it's all the other presidents doing. Then once you hit about 3 years, then shit goes downhill real quick. And so that way, everything that good that happened was Obama, and then now all the Trump shit's going downhill. Even though Keith would say everybody's going to die. But my point is that you won't see the effects from this happen for another year or 2.
That makes sense.
Because
they have barrels, beers, and gas. It's par for the course until they get everything fucking lined up. You know what I mean? So what you're going to see is the same beers, but more widely distroed. That's all you're going to see.
What was their distro on? I always assumed they were just available everywhere, just like Sam Adams.
Well, Dogfish Head didn't have as big of a distro footprint as you would think, but there also, you might see a little bit. I doubt it, but you might. I was going to say a little bit of a price drop, but what you won't see is a price raise. I think, because what they'll do is they'll buy in bulk ingredients, and now they're buying massive bulk and ingredients. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then some beers might change based on a brewing schedule and all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
I think when I was looking at their calendar release for this year, what beers are releasing. I mean, they've always had, they have what they always release all year round, and they have some seasonal things, they have some new things coming out. That didn't feel much different to me. I think part of the reason Sam Adams would have been interested is because of their innovation, that they do different things. You got me thinking about how Sam Adams does do some of that, maybe more than I was giving them credit for. But I don't think they want to hinder that, because it complements or supplements what Sam Adams does. So I don't know, I guess long thought short, is Dogfish Head going to be like a neutered dog? Are they going to be like, oh yeah, here's the stuff we know sells, so here's your 60, here's your Sequench, and then are you going to stop trying new things? Or are they going to, no, that's what we had, that's why we bought you guys, is you're going to keep trying new things. I hope they keep trying new things.
Well, I mean, the most, what's the word again? The reason why, and I don't want to make it as matter of fact sex, obviously I don't know the inside fucking scoop, but yeah, the general consensus is Sam Adams purchased Dogfish Head. It wasn't a merger. Sam Adams purchased Dogfish Head.
But they like to use the word merger.
they purchased Dogfish Head because they needed to keep their production of beer-based product above 50%. That's it. That there was nothing other than that. Once they drop below 50%, then they're out of the Brewers Association, and they lose their fucking shit as a brewery. They become more of a cidery and a seltzer house. So that's the only reason they purchased. I mean, not the only reason. Dogfish Head needed help. They were a dying breed. It was a mutual thing, but that's brass tacks, that's the long and short of it. Sam Adams needed a bigger portion of the pool to kind of dilute their beer portion in order for them to survive in the market longer. That's it. So whether they change or not, they can literally buy and go, keep doing what you're doing. We don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because that happens. You see Duvel. Yeah. Duvel purchased, Omega. They didn't purchase Omegang. It was kind of a weird thing back in the day, but it's more, Boulevard, Firestone Walker, those kind of things. They purchased them, and they're just like, yeah, have at it. Do whatever the fuck you want. We're not going to change anything. Whereas some breweries want to change stuff. So is that going to happen? Who knows?
I heard from a few people who work at Omegang that it was all good. It was all good news.
Well, the original owners of Omegang wanted to sell and they couldn't find somebody, so it's almost like Duvel's like, we kind of like what you're doing here. Let's just buy you for the sake of buying. And what that happened 20 years ago?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like one of those mergers that happened, like 8 years ago. It happened a long time ago, and it was way outside the scope of what you saw from breweries being purchased and just kind of being bought out. And if you want to kind of go down that rabbit hole, we could talk about, Magic Hat and all that stuff. Where it's like literally 3 years ago, Magic Hat could have sold for like, $125 million. Now they had to basically say we're closing our tap room and we're now fucking, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to outsource all our beer out of Genesee because they technically own us because we merged a couple of years ago.
Man, Magic Hat number 9 is pretty good beer.
OG was. OG 9 was pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't had it recently, or if they even still make it. But
one of my favorite tap rooms I went to when I went with Lisa up into Vermont when I went to Magic Hat, right? I don't know, way up to Burlington. It was fucking awesome. I had a great time there, man. It was nice. It was pretty. The beers were fun. I had a great time. It's a bummer it's gone. Well, 0 Day's taking it over, but whatever.
Zero Day.
Yeah, 0 Day Brewing. Is it? No, is that in 0 Day? What's the other one up? What's the one up there? Zero Gravity.
0 Day's in Philly. Yeah, because 0 Day's in Philly.
Yeah. Well,
0 Day's
Harrisburg.
Sorry, Harrisburg. Yes.
Yeah. Zero Gravity.
That was the brewery you recommend. Yeah.
They're in Pennsylvania. Same thing. Pennsylvania is a tiny state, so it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. That was a joke. That was
a joke. So Rod's saying that he likes to restream for solos. It's better than OBS in his opinion. Again, I don't know any of this stuff. I didn't forget though. About them being bought. I didn't buy much before or after. Love Sam though. Hello everyone. What's up, Clinton?
Hey, Clinton.
Here's Clinton. Yes, sir. Sam actually has a barrel concern, though, now as they are set to approach the 6 million barrel level with Dogfish Head on board, so the BA may adjust again.
Nah.
I mean,
if the Yuengling will always be ahead of them, and Yuengling will always be in there. So there's no way. Like, Yuengling will deal with that problem before Sam Adams does, because Yuengling is technically part of the crappers, the BA crappers list now. So if Yuengling will approach the number and move the needle before Sam Adams has to worry about it. Because Yuengling used to not be qualifying for craft brewery status until the BA loosened their guidelines on adjuncts. Once they did that, you saw Yuengling move from macro to craft. So now they'll do anything to keep into that. So it's almost like a buffer zone, like a buffer. Like, no one's going to have to deal with that because Yuengling is always going to be number one as the craft brewery as far as production goes, and they'll move that needle. So
Yuengling is a craft brewery?
Yep, as far as the BA is concerned.
Well, and that's like what I was saying before about like my gut reaction about a brewery, if they're craft or not. Like, my gut does not say yes, Yuengling's a craft brewer, but yeah. Yuengling is more below 6 million than Sam, I believe. Yeah, that I don't know. I know they're both, I don't know, neck and neck and up there, but I don't know.
If anyone's asking, I opened this Dogfish Head soy sauce.
Oh no!
Limited edition.
What's the vintage? What year is it?
It's the 2016.
Okay. Okay.
I think I bought it. I think I might have bought these 2 bottles at the same time.
Gotcha. Well, if you had listened to me and poured them one on top of each other, made a black and tan, that would have been delicious. So
it would have been.
So and I have to preface this first off by saying the Brewers Association rules and guidelines are kind of a bunch of bullshit anyway. So anybody who actually goes by those is kind of like loosey goosey to begin with. You know what I mean? But number 1 is Yuengling by far. Number 2 is Boston Beer Company from a distance. Number 13 is Dogfish Head. Now the combination of 2 and 13, does that make them go over the top? But there's also a way to actually financially and contractually kind of keep themselves as the same company but different. I don't know. So is that combination of 2 and 13 going to make them go above 1? I don't know the answer to that. But as far as 2020, and this is the actual press release that came out in April, Yuengling is way far ahead. But it's still Brewers Association, which is kind of like BJCP. It doesn't really apply much, all that. But they're the ones that actually keep the numbers.
Yeah.
So that's weird. It's because are they technically the same company now, or what's the
that's the thing. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I think they that's why I think they called it a No, that's why I think they called it a merger, and they're trying to figure out what everything lies at as far as, in the grand scheme of things, Sam Adams wants to have that beer in their portfolio so they stay craft beer, but they also don't want to have that beer increase their barrel production. So I'm sure they'll cook the books in some way, the same way people cook taxes and all those kind of things to make it work for them. But again, we're dealing with the Brewers Association. It's basically Keith. Let's put it this way: the Brewers Association is the Democrats, and then the Macro Brewers Association are the Republicans. They're both in the same boats trying to do the same thing. So the Brewers Association is not really something you want to lean to, at least ethically. But at least they have some kind of numbers you can work with.
I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Rod is saying that he saw that they were, when they combined, expected to be larger. Keep with a porn stash.
Since it was brought up, I want to just say that I'm a cop now. So, so that's what the mustache is.
Nice.
I'm a cop.
Porn or a cop, yeah. Ridiculous.
I'm a porn cop now.
Hey, cheers. What's up, Beard Frogs? What's up, man? Rod, Matt is just making sure I don't get any new subscribers ever. So,
what? Is it making fun of the Brewers Association? Brewers Association is like the BJCP, man. It's like, why do people even fuck with it nowadays? You know?
Yeah, a cop with a mustache. Yeah, man. Or you've seen, but yeah, it's pretty popular, man. It's funny.
Does this have the upside down? Oh, okay. It has the upside down ketchup bottle, so that means we're okay. So, yeah.
Does it have Sam Adams written on it? 'Cause I know they're going to start having Sam Adams written on the Dogfish Head ones and Dogfish Head written on Sam ones.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure I heard that.
They're going to co-brand all their beers now?
Like small. Like it's not going to say like Dogfish Head and Sam Adams same size, but my understanding was it's going to have the name of the other one on the packaging or on the label.
I don't see it on this one.
I'm wrong a lot, so who knows? I thought Keith was playing edition for the.
But I don't. What's the deuce? Is that that's a show? I'm assuming.
Yeah, HBO is a channel, and they air television shows and movies. Home Box Office is what my mom still calls it. Yeah, HBO.
The deuce on HBO sounds like scat porn after midnight.
Oh, man.
Isn't that Cinemax? Are we talking about?
They're both the same company now. They merged. I think they're producing more barrels than Sam Adams.
Everybody is owned by
not part
somebody
of
now.
the Brewers Association. HBO's out.
What I want to know: are we going to get a mix pack?
Only Showtime.
I want a mix pack of Dogfish and Sam. I want the best of both worlds.
Oh man.
Kyle's channel is
build your co-brand 6-pack.
60 Boston Lager. If I'm gonna do a holiday, I want old Fezziwig. Burton Baton.
Oh man.
Chocolate box, son.
Man.
No, chocolate box gross.
Yeah, you go fuck yourself right now.
No, I honestly do not like chocolate box. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, fair enough.
I remember getting that Sam Adams holiday thing.
Holiday, yeah.
Years ago. That was what?
The latest one has Boston Lager, the chocolate box that Matt likes. That's gross. It has the old Fezzy, and then it has there was like an amber recently, but I think they changed that. I forget.
Don't they have like some kind of like winter solstice kind of winter? It's like kind of I don't know, stone on the label. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you used to have like white ale. Like the white ale used to be great.
Winter wheat, maybe it's like a winter wheat or some shit like that.
Yeah.
$60-minute for sure. Sea Quench for sure.
Black Lager. I don't even know if they brew that anymore. Sam, that is. Their Black Lager was great.
There was a guy. Go ahead. Sorry.
There you go, Matt.
I'm pouring a beer right now. You can go.
The
holiday porter. Thank you, Clinton.
What was the
Makes sense. It's called Holiday. Yeah, I don't know how I forgot that.
Oh, Holiday Porter. Yeah, thanks, Clinton. The what was that Sam Adams one? They're talking about TV shows and stuff. Red Shoe Diaries. Looks like James Franco double from the show. I mean, that was a good-looking dude, Keith.
Yeah.
About that. Showtime, I think. Oh yeah, Showtime. James Franco. I see it. I mean, no one's ever said I look like James Franco, man. Take the compliment. That's nice. You know. But no, they was it Noble Hops? No, those are the kind of hops. What was the Sam Adams beer?
Noble Pills.
Noble Pills. That beer was so good.
So I did not like that beer like back then, but I was also not big into like that style when that was out. So I would love to try to get that again and see what. And I'd probably love it now because I'm all about pilsners and whatnot now.
There was a guy who would send me beer mails. He was sending me quite often. It was like every month. He was from up probably I don't think he was from Boston area, but outside of that, and he was a Sam Adams rep. I didn't know it at first, and he would send me beer mails. But there'd be hot ass shit in there. There'd be like Fox Farm and Treehouse and all that stuff. And then there'd be like all the Sam Adams like one-offs that only come out of the brewery, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know what I mean? And then I went into my email and I found his full name and I searched and I saw his LinkedIn and he's like a brand ambassador for fucking Sam, but he wasn't doing it to try to get a Sam Adams shit. He was just filling a box full of stuff that he thought was cool. And I had a bunch of like the brewery only releases from Sam Adams over the past year.
I remember those videos.
Yeah, and they're really good, man. They're really good beers. I dug them.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of really good stuff that you can only get at the brewery. Like I do the tour. Like obviously, I'm from here, so like I've done the tour multiple times, and they always have super interesting shit that you can only really get at the brewery. Like that was the very first time I ever tried like the New England IPA that now is everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the test batch.
Did I give that to you?
No, we got the test batch of Rebel IPA down here in New Jersey, like the limited distro one when they first released it. That beer was awesome.
I loved Rebel IPA.
Did you ever have the Rebel Raw?
Yep. I
think I did. I had one of the canned ones. I don't know if it was the Rebel Raw, but like when the Rebel IPA first. It was like, what was it, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
When the Rebel IPA first came out, they did like a limited distro, and that was awesome. And it sucks because I bought a case of it when they did the next like
And it's
big distro, and then it wasn't as good. And I was just
The Rebel grapefruit is really good. I don't know if it is now, but
when I was doing a radio show, and the other guy was actually running the radio show more than I was, we would get Sam Adams shit in the mail, like relatively like frequent. And one of the best hazies I ever had was their Rebel Raw. It was batch 1, first time I ever produced it.
Batch 1 was great.
They overnighted it from the brewery to me on ice. Like from the brewery, like overnighted, and I was like, "Oh man, this is fucking fantastic." And the next batch was okay, but they would do shit like that, like the grapefruit version. Mm-hmm. When they send off the press pack for the grapefruit version, they sent me a can, a bottle, and a grapefruit, and a tin of hops that they put in it. That's the press pack I got. I'm like, how much money did they spend on this bullshit? Just give me a fucking beer. You know what I mean? Like,
that's awesome. Man,
I think it's still me. I am drinking this, which
that's
is
not Dogfish Head.
No. Well, I'm done with my Dogfish Head. This is Barrier in Verdant Brewing. I did one beer review before I came on the air because I want to try something new. I'm trying something new, and I'm kind of curious to see how it comes out. My beer review nerdiness is in full flow. Do you guys ever hear of like color grading in log?
Yeah.
Log. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna start color grading my videos.
I was doing it for a while.
Color grading?
Like as far as
the beer goes? Or
like you film it in raw, and then you actually add like a LUT to it, to where you actually and you get like high dynamic range in your videos and shit like that. Like, yeah, it's something I could do for a while, but I just wanted to fucking fuck with it. So I was like, I watched like 19 tutorials on how to do it over the past couple weeks, even though I downloaded the shit I needed like a while ago, because you could do graded LUT video with Filmic.
Yeah.
And
you can also do it in Premiere after the fact.
Well, no, you have to film it. You have to film it though in log. You can't just film it and then HDR. You have to actually film it in log and then grade it. You know what I mean? You can't just grade any video. Well, I guess you could grade the colors, but
yeah, you can change.
Anyway,
there's presets. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, but if you do it, basically, it's like when you record it, it's instead of recording all the perfect colors, it's recording all the gradients of colors. So that way, when you go in, it's basically like layers in Photoshop, where you can edit every individual color layer and all that stuff. So I recorded that one tonight, so I'm kind of curious to see how it comes out.
I don't need to edit more, Matt. Now you make me want to go play with that.
You don't need to. You don't need to record videos about beer either.
Fair point.
Too funny. Yeah, what people in the chat drinking? I got a couple people chiming in. I assume this is about Keith. Scuffed Kenny Powers. I could see it. Yeah, very, very.
You spelled fuck wrong. Fuck Kenny Powers. It's fucking Kenny Powers. That's Scuffed Kenny Powers.
Hot that thumbs up. Incendiary. They make so much good stuff. If you guys haven't had them before, if you can get them, but they're out of North Carolina. They're freaking great.
Oh, I have heard you talk about them. Yes.
Yeah. No, they're really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess this is off topic, but looks like New York's going to shut down the shipping of beer from breweries this week. So I did one shipment from a brewery. You got me thinking about different breweries besides Dogfish Head, and I haven't seen too many changes other than that come in. I have to take like a sharp left turn, but anything. I mean, Matt, Sean, I know you just went to a brewery on Sunday. Like, actually went to one.
Yeah. I didn't think of that because it's funny. I actually went over Reed's house and we sat outside the other day. Distance, obviously, and we're talking about like stuff we don't want to change, and it's like curbside pickup. Like that'd be great. Like deliveries, like Trillium deliveries, like is that going to change? Like, is that changing in New York because they changed the laws to kind of lift it because of it's getting better? Is it?
I actually wanted to look exactly at it. I don't know the why of that. I don't know if it was just the temporary thing is up after this week, or if it's because we're entering new phases and that's why it's up. But yeah, that was actually what I was going to look up. I just saw that it is happening because a local cidery actually was like, hey, if you want our stuff, this is the last week to do shipments. So that's how I saw.
So they're
sorry, go Keith.
No, I was just going to ask. So they're opening up and they're canceling shipping and stuff.
Shipping right now would be shipping. This is the last week you can get beer shipped from a brewery, cidery, winery.
And is that like UPS shipping or is that local delivery from the brewery?
Not delivery, shipping specifically.
Okay.
Like you put it into a package and ship it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
I think that's garbage, and I think they should keep things the same.
Yeah.
Just to put it on record. They should
Keith 84 garbage lumber.
The fact that I'll try not to get too political right now, but like the fact that people are and states and governments and whatever are trying to go back to normal, quote unquote, after this is kind of nonsense. And I think a lot of the stuff that was put in place because of the pandemic, especially since the pandemic isn't over, should remain in place, but also remain in place after the fact, because it just makes it convenient for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody makes out. Everybody.
The idea is a good idea. Period. Yeah, I agree.
The only thing I would think of to play, not devil's advocate, but like, I guess how sustainable is it if I'll use Trillium as the example because they're doing both curbside pickup and local deliveries. Ooh, Bruno and Taco. Is how sustainable is that once they do open up? Because they have opened up all their breweries now for outside seating and limited, I think, food stuff. And then once it fully opens up for inside stuff, that's where a lot of their business was. Like, how sustainable is it? Because I have to imagine that the people that they're using to deliver at this point, I'm trying not to look at the screen so I don't laugh. Deliver at this point are probably working inside the brewery. Yeah, I don't have any. I have fish upstairs. I can bring them in. You guys can watch them, like really, really, really small, lame fish.
Well, I mean, Sean, you're right, man. I mean,
and that scares me because like he said, I want it to keep going, but like at that point, they're going to have to hire dedicated delivery drivers, maybe not dedicated curbside people, right? Because like they could say, okay, but if people are curbside doing it all the time, they have people in the brewery, they may need a dedicated person to handle that.
Yeah.
So I guess it really depends. It comes down to the business model and how the brewery's doing.
A brewery by me, they are only going to deliver Tuesdays, Thursdays, so that woman who's been doing the deliveries can work, because they have got enough people coming to the brewery now that they're like, it makes more sense with a business plan to have her those days working at the brewery, not delivering. So it's be twice a week. Ken's drinking a Pilsner. I'm drinking a dirty Pilsner from Vocation Brewery here in the UK. Yeah, check out Beer Chugs on Wednesday nights. He does guest ABV. It's always a fun time.
It really is. I just wish it wasn't so late.
Yeah, because he's West Coast. It starts a little late for us old East Coast guys. But it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. Our lockdown is lifting most measures on the 4th of July. I'm sure there's some sort of American joke to be made. I can't think of one right now. Sorry. But I used to work with a guy from Slough, England, and a guy from Canada, and I had a free period with those guys. I'm a teacher. I had a free prep period with them. They're always telling me how much better Canada and England were than the United States. And I would always say, well, then why do you live here? And then that would end the conversation. Why are you here? But I'm not that, egocentric about the United States, but yeah, it was just all the time. And then the Canadian, they waited till the 1980s to get full independence from England, so those Canadians. Anyway. So you learn something on this channel. It's something. But yeah, not to always have to talk about COVID and stuff. But yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, some of these things that have changed that were cool changes, I hate to see them change back. Yeah, but I think that people are going to, and when I say people, I mean the people with the power to make these decisions and for financial gains will want it to go back to the way it was. But yeah, I mean, delivery's cool. The curbside pickup's sweet, and I want people to be able to go to breweries. Obviously, like that's awesome, and I love doing that myself. But yeah, like I think some of these things that make sense because we're adults here, and they can keep doing things like shipping beer, but whatever.
Yeah, and there's definitely a, in my opinion, like things shouldn't exactly stay the same as they are due to like COVID and pandemic stuff, but there's definitely a medium or what's the word? Like a compromise.
Middle ground. Yeah, middle ground.
Middle ground. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Middle, yeah.
Where things could kind of be the way they are now, but also go back to the way they were before all of this. And I feel like, yeah, without making it political, the people in power are trying to make it like, oh, everything's going to go back to exactly how it was. But
yeah.
I mean, we talked about that. Kyle and I talked about that in our uncomfortable conversation about policymakers and policy and the policymakers that make policy. But to Keith's point, while making it not so political, but still making it political, like I don't think either side, and this is honestly, I don't think either side wants it to go back to normal. I think either side wants to do what you're talking about, Keith. But I think either side thinks they should get rid of some things and keep the others on the opposite end of the spectrum. So, I think, where it's like it doesn't go back to normal. So let's if you're a compassionate person, you want people to be more, whatever. If you covet money, you want it to go a certain way. If you covet human nature and people, you want it to go another. And that's the most shortest way you could possibly put it. And there's a lot of people that view both one and the same. You have to have money to be happy, and the economy needs to exist in order for people to exist. And I don't think that's the case, but a lot of people do. So, and that's the thing. It's not going to go back to normal. It's just go vote. That's all I can say.
Primary day today in New York. There's something political for me. All right, so we have about 7 minutes till the hour and a half mark. So I say we ended at an hour and a half, but I want to end it talking about Dogfish Head since that is like the point of this video. So, well, no, I forgot. Mute, Keith, mute yourself. No. All right, so something about Dogfish Head. We did favorite beers, least favorite beers, some stories.
How about memories?
How about the most influential brewer at Dogfish Head? Because it's definitely not Sam, because he doesn't make beer there. But
I don't know if I know the brewer by name there.
I don't either.
No, that's what I. It was a joke. Sam actually doesn't brew, and he said he actually doesn't know how to run his own brewery. It was just kind of. He actually said it. He said, yeah. He's like, I have no idea how to make beer.
He just walks to the tanks and throws random shit, and he goes, "Let's see if that tastes good."
No, he's more Augie Carton than Jim Koch. Let's put it that way.
He is the most self-aware billionaire. He's like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Whatever, I just have.
But money comes in. Yeah, no, he's definitely made smart business decisions, and he's just he is a brand. Like, he is the brand. He is the guy.
I got a good one. Kyle. Since you want to keep it Dogfish Head, everybody name who Sam Calagione reminds them most of, whether it be someone from movies or literature or music, his attitude and how he projects himself. Is that fair, or is that too low?
Yeah, and I can't think of the guy's name, but I have the.
I know exactly who he is. That's why I said that.
But does it have to be like?
It's what's his name? Ken Marino, I think is his name.
Ken Marino.
Oh, the guy from the state.
The state who was going to play Sam in a show because they made it.
He's the Seed. Remember, the Seed from.
Oh yeah, and he was also in Veronica
the
Mars.
Seed from the League.
Yes.
The Seed of the Seed.
Yeah.
From the fucking Seed, son.
They shot a pilot loosely based on Dogfish. What?
The Seed. The Seed. The guy who would show up and rub shit in the guy's hair. He was the Seed. See, you're not a real League fan. You thought you were a League fan.
Ken Marino.
I watched through it twice. I love the League.
Ken Marino, he was in the state.
I don't remember him from being in the League either, and I love the League.
Yeah, he was called the Seed. And
he was in one episode, Keith.
Wait, it's
only no, he was in way more than one episode. I'll bet you my left testy right now. He's way more than one episode.
I'm seeing him as one.
No.
Oh.
But he was in the Kenny Powers show.
That just gave up his left testicle.
Yeah. It's okay. I don't need it.
But, anyway, they shot a pilot for a sitcom, and he was playing like the Sam character. It was loosely based on Dogfish Head. But those guys go way back because they knew each other, like in Ricky Lake, and just Sam had random friends with the state and Ricky Lake back. But anyway, they did film a sitcom. So I just kind of put those two guys together because he kind of played Sam in this failed pilot.
Keith, Matt owes us a testicle.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Literally
okay. I'm 45. I'm 45. Those shits are dried up.
We're gonna live stream the extraction.
It's called castration. Anyway. You know who
I was trying to be nice. I was
3 minutes and we couldn't even talk about
Jeff Spicoli from Ridgemont High.
That's good. That's good.
And not so much that he's a stoner, but just the way, because he always talks. I can't do him, but he's always kind of like this. You know what I mean? And when he talks,
It's so true. That's funny.
I don't think I have any.
Yeah, I'm blanking too.
References. Like I know a few people personally that kind of have that kind of charismatic, whatever you want to call it, kind of thing. But naming them wouldn't, like, I couldn't name them and you'd be like, oh yeah, I understand that. Like it's like literally friends of mine. Like I could be like, oh, that guy's like that guy, but I don't think Matt doesn't even know that guy, so I don't think.
Good talk, Keith. Good talk.
Field Study Trogue. That's another brewer that was very influential, especially early on. All right. Anything for the good of the order, gentlemen?
Drink more Dogfish Head.
Don't do it. Support Log.
Give Sam Adams more money.
San Dimas High School football rules.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone who watched live or afterwards. People commenting. Obviously appreciate it. But yeah, I agree with Keith, and I also want people to drink more Dogfish Head. So I agree with Sean and Keith. So find a healthy mix of drinking all of the above.
Yeah, do a mix 6 like Matt said. Put
Yes,
some Dogfish in it and put some local in it.
Yes.
Best of both.
Feel free to subscribe to Sean at Nerdsense. Don't subscribe to Mike at Nerdsense, just Sean at Nerdsense. Because Matt didn't join us, or Mike didn't join us today. Definitely subscribe to Matt from Massive Beer Reviews, Keith from 84 Hot Garbage.
It's 94 Lumber.
By the way, 84 hot. No, we blended 83 Hot Garbage and 84 Lumber.
83 Lumber, yeah. Or
into one.
Whatever it is, I don't know.
If you're one of the people who unsubscribed from me, so long. Glad to be rid of you. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Oh, I have to click it twice.